which I'm sure a lot of you have probably gotten from me over the past, that you can look at and read through, and it kind of gives you an idea of the way I do my reports. It was originally set up for new FIs, people just coming in wanting to be trained, so it's great for you, but you've already had the documentation for a while. But now you get to hear me say it. This is the first time I've ever presented as a slideshow. Obviously, it's the first time I've presented anything as a slideshow. The damn thing actually worked. And Cheryl, twice at least, that Cheryl knows of, so this is something. This is a golden moment here. I actually have this thing working. I'm afraid to pull anything off for it. I'm going to mess it up. So, all of that out of the way, like you really wanted to hear. Let's get started with how to build a better investigation. A lot of this stuff, because most of you are FIs for some time now, it's going to be pretty much duh, but one of the great things that I'm hoping to get from you guys is, after you see this, for those who haven't or haven't read it, please critique the daylights out of me. Send me notes. Let me know what needs to be changed, what could have been better. Because what I'm hoping to do eventually is I'd like to burn this stuff to a DVD that we can sell online to prospective FIs and new members that just want to know what it is we do. And if I could put it all together on a DVD and we can start selling it through the Colorado website to make some money for Colorado MUFON, that would be great. To bring folks up to speed a little bit, I know this has got nothing to do with training, but to bring some of you up to speed, Barry and I did go out to Leslie's the week after our last meeting. Leslie, I would have to say, is pretty bitter. Barry and I went, I don't know how we could have been nicer to her. I mean, we stopped just short of pandering to the woman. She gave us, basically, she gave me a truckload of garbage. I mean, she had stuff from years of hoarding. 90% of it went in the trash. The bulk of the good stuff is in that black tub over there. And I had 3 tubs that size, plus a bed of my pickup truck full of stuff. And we were gracious. She sold me the leftover t-shirts from the symposium. Or not t-shirts, they were the polo shirts. She sold me the polo shirts at what I think is a rather gouging price, but I didn't want to argue. I wanted to be nice, and so I paid her for it. I didn't even have the heart to allow Barry to reimburse me on it, because I thought we really kind of... But we did our best, and we stood there in the wind talking to this lady, trying to be nice to her, trying to say, well, you know, Leslie, you're still a Colorado MUFON member. If you want to come to the meetings, and then she sends this scathing email out to just whomever about how the 2 that came down to get your junk obviously didn't care a blank for me. It's like, how could she act like that? But she did. So anyway, the point being, we don't have a whole lot of the good stuff that I hope we're going to get. We got a truckload of garbage. So as time goes on, the good thing I did get, I got our banners, one of which is hanging on the table there. So we did get the banners, which to me is, you know, we need those for going places and whatever. So we did get all of that. And I'm sure I had a point to all of that, and I'm failing now to remember exactly what it was, other than the fact that we did go get the stuff, and Leslie is not going to help us out. David Wisby, who, as you know, is our newsletter editor, he had been after her for 6 months that I know of to show him how to put the newsletter, you know, the way it was supposed to be online and everything. She never would do it. Then all of this came down, and he sent her an email, very nice email, asking, would you please sit down and show me? No, not going to do it. So we don't have Colorado website, and we don't have the newsletter the way we want them to be. But David and I are going to do whatever we have to do. If we have to drive to California to meet with the people that set up the website, we're going to find out how to take the website over so that we can start using it again, which is a big thing, because I've had like 6 people, and this is kind of exciting, I've had like 6 people in the last 3 weeks emailing me saying, I want to become a Colorado MUFON member, but I go to the website and I'm given information that when I contact it, there's nothing there. Well, it's because we haven't taken it over from Leslie, so it's still sending everything to her email, and I'm sure she's just ignoring it. So hopefully everything is going to get back up to speed here before long. David and I are going to get that worked out, and hopefully things are going to go well.
Doug, you can't even access that website?
No. No. The only one that could was Leslie, apparently.
Do you think a real good IT person can figure that out?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm contacting the people who set it up and who manage it for us, and I'm letting them know what happened. I'm waiting for them to respond and let me know. I'm expecting they're just going to say, oh yeah, well, here's the passwords, blah, blah, blah. But if they require something more than that, then David and I are going to do whatever we have to do to get it to them so that we can take control of it and have our website back. Brings up another point. We'll need a...
I have somebody who, she may have already tried to do it, but she wants to become a field investigator and get her manual and everything. So she goes to that website, she can't do it, so what should she do then?
Well, the Colorado website always should have redirected them to international.
Oh, okay.
So they can still go to international. That's what I've been telling people, is go to the international website, become an international member, they'll contact me, blah, blah, blah. But once we do get that up and running, we may be looking for someone to play webmaster. So if anybody's got any shadowy ideas in their head that they'd like to be the puppet master of Colorado MUFON's website, let it roll around and ferment, and if you decide you want it, you know.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is there a difference between being a member with Colorado MUFON versus international?
Yes.
There is.
In order to be a Colorado MUFON member, you have to be an international MUFON member first. The way it used to be was you could become one or the other. Initially, what used to happen is you join Colorado MUFON, and that would automatically, what you would actually be doing would be you were joining international, because that's each year they send you your notice for your dues, and that's how you renew your journal, is through international. Then, in the past, when Colorado had their dues, which it appears we're going to be going back to, early results on the polling are like 75% of the people have said they want to have the annual dues and free at the door. So the way it used to be and the way it looks like it'll go back to is then once a year you'll get a statement from Colorado, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to have it set so that you can either pay for it, write a check, mail it in to Barry, or if you don't want to be bothered with that, just bring your statement to the next meeting, write a check, or give the money to the person at the door and they'll log you in that way. But at any rate, they are two entities. International MUFON is the parent organization. Colorado MUFON is the local chapter. Now, you can be an international MUFON member without being a Colorado MUFON member. But if you are, you can't be a Colorado FI. And you still have the same rates as a non-member coming to the Colorado MUFON meetings. So, does that explain it? I'm never sure if I fully explained or answered the question.
It's still kind of confusing, but...
Well, of course it is.
I,
It's designed that way. If we wanted it to be simple, we would just say,
It's Tuesday, and you're standing on your left leg.
she says that as you can't see, but I'm standing on my right leg. That's interesting. But of course I'm turned around because I'm backwards. So anyway, I hope that kind of explains it. Kind of. Any other generalized questions before I try to...
Is it still going to be the same amount to join Colorado MUFON?
I believe it
in
is.
the past? Okay.
Yeah. We didn't see any point in increasing the rates right now when everybody's in a depression anyway.
Yeah.
It just seemed really unfair.
Which is what?
I think is it 20?
Or 20, yeah. And
It's either 20 or 25, and then there's a student rate,
and family.
and then there's a
rate,
family
yeah,
rate.
yeah.
So,
you should have student and senior.
you know, that's what I think too, but You know what would happen? We'd lose half of our income because most of us are seniors, aren't we?
International has singles, or seniors. And seniors.
Do they really?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, thanks for messing everything up for me.
I was gonna ask you, what is the minimum age that you would
What's the
allow
age
for
limit?
people?
I don't know.
To a MUFON meeting,
I'm not sure.
if they can sit in the chair without wetting their pants and not disrupt,
We have a 10-year-old, 11-year-old nephew that is
Bring it.
gung ho on this stuff. And we thought about bringing him, I thought, well,
Absolutely.
maybe. I don't know, I'm gonna ask first.
no, absolutely. That's one of my big, I used to be a special ed teacher. And one of my big pushes is I'm trying desperately to get us back into the schools so that I can get kids, in fact, I think it's week after next, I'm going to be going to a local school and talking to a class. They've invited me to come and speak. They're studying space and UFOs and stuff. And I'm hoping to get that going really strong so that I'm doing that monthly or something to get people, to get kids to know there's an organization you can join and there's a student rate. And if you can drag your parents, that's great, you know, and stuff like that. So yeah, bring him and tell him to tell his friends and we'll get a school bus. You can get a school bus. I don't have a school bus.
He's down in the Springs, yeah, so it'd be a day.
If
for
you can
him.
get up here, that'd be sweet. Another thing that brings up, I've been asked by International to ask you folks, since you are Colorado Springs MUFON, do you see any, first off, do you see any need for us to have a MUFON meetings down there as we have up in Greeley? Is there a need, do we have enough Southern members, do you think, that would attend to make
I
it?
sent an email to Cliff and he forwarded it to someone in the office. I'm still waiting for the updated list.
And you know, you'll start out slow with, we did for years, 20 members, but now it's consistently about 60 people coming. And the membership isn't there yet, but they're coming, and they're paying the door fees,
That's
so
Yeah.
it's growing up north.
Each time I've gone up to speak up there, I'm just blown away by the, and I know it's not me. It's obviously that these people are used to coming on a regular basis, and yeah, they're not members, but boy, they're paying at the door and keeping a good showing going up there, which is fantastic. Which is a tribute to Cheryl, because she's the one that did all that for years and years up there. So
I know
thank you.
Sharon's got quite a few people that are interested in joining, so I can see it later on, maybe mid-year or something, we probably will have our meetings.
Right,
down there.
because I've actually told them for right now, to just come to our house and we'll just
Oh.
go over stuff. Because
Luann?
there's only
Cool,
like
thank
2 or
you.
3 people, so.
Luann just was telling me that we collected probably about
I think about $150 last time.
Did you really?
Yeah.
one meeting, so, you know,
Wow,
yeah.
we could use that income.
How much per person?
We charge $3 per person or $5 for a couple or 2 people. Yeah, it is. And we provide a place where they have good food. People like to eat,
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
down and
I
rest.
went to a cafe, I don't know if anybody knows about Cafe Scientifique. There's meetings at Brooklyn's restaurant and then also at Wine Coop. But I went to one of them last Monday night or the Monday before, and it was a really nice atmosphere. I liked having the ability to have something to eat or drink while you're
Sure.
listening to a lecture. I thought it was
I like that.
really good.
Yeah. It's always nice, I always enjoy coming up there.
We'll have you again.
If gas goes much higher though, I'm gonna have to buy an airplane and fly up there. It's just getting stupid to fill your vehicle. So anyway, any other questions or comments or platitudes? Throw anything? So, the investigation document. This document is intended to be an overview of how to proceed with a typical investigation, may be used as a template or a checklist of sorts for the field investigator to follow to ensure a reasonably thorough investigation. This document is not exhaustive and should only be used to assist in building a routine method for doing an investigation. My plan was, when I put all this stuff together, was to give you the benefits, such as it is, of my 30 years of experience as an investigator. when I first started investigating back in my 20s, I just took an old Air Force document that I had found in a library,